Okay, but $78,000. That's a lot of money. So when you caught, how much money did you have left that you hadn't spent?
So I don't remember the exact amount. I don't remember the exact amount that was, but it was a lot.
Okay, good morning. I assume that you are Miss Luck. I hope I say this right. LaQuanisha McCoy. Okay, you're on mute. Okay,
Yes,
are
sir.
you,
I
oh,
apologize. Can you hear me now?
okay, would you tell me how to say your first name?
LaQuanisha.
Okay, LaQuanisha. Okay, we're at Concordia is where this hearing's been being conducted as far as that's where you are. We're at headquarters in Baton Rouge, the DLC headquarters. To my left is Jerry Ledoux and to my right is Pete Freeman. And we are the three-panel person on the board of parole that is going to see about granting or denying your request for parole. The date today is the 18th of April, and it's now, let me see, 9:36 in the morning. You are LaQuanisha McCoy. You're 28 years old. The offense that you've been charged with is theft over $25,000. You were sentenced on December the 17th of 2020 to 15 years in jail. Your parole date is September. Your first date of parole that you can get, if we grant it, will be September the 15th of 2024. Your good time date is April of 2025, and your full time will be December of 2035. And as is the way that we conduct these hearings is that each one of us on the panel has a certain number of hearings that we do most of the talking and the interview on. When we're through interviewing you, we'll have a chance to talk to people that might be for you getting parole. Then we'll have a chance to talk to people that might be against you getting parole. Then we'll have a victim, excuse me, not a victim, but a statement from you as far as what you've done since you've been incarcerated and about the crime. And then we will have a chance, if there is any opposition from the district attorney's office, they will conclude the hearing, that we will vote and let you know today what's going on. Okay, having said that, I'll turn this over to Jerry Ledoux. Ms. Ledoux will do the questioning.
Good morning. How are you, Ms. McCoy?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
Do it well. Ms. McCoy, the crime that you committed took place in 2018, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were not sentenced until 2020, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on bond that whole time?
Um, yes, ma'am.
You had bonded out. You were free until the court case.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, if the record is correct, and I believe it is, you stole $78,000.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with that money? Did you have a gambling problem, a drug problem? What did you do with the money?
No, ma'am. At that point in time in my life, I was, and I'm not making excuses for it. I made very poor decisions and poor judgments. At that time of my life, I was on a, so to speak, I was going through, I was just speaking quite frankly, I was young, I was naive. Um,
What did you spend the money on? That's a question.
on things such as bills, I spent it on makeup, things that I really didn't need, things that I thought that I needed at that time that I didn't, things to try to help my mom, just on things, some things that mattered and some things that didn't.
Okay, it's $78,000. That's a lot of money. So when you caught, how much money did you have left that you hadn't spent?
So I don't remember the exact amount. I don't remember the exact amount that was, but it was a
Give it
lot.
back to the victim, to the business?
I gave it to my attorney to give back to my victims. Yes, ma'am, I did
How
because
much? You don't have any idea how much you gave back?
I don't remember the full amount. I don't. It was a lot.
A lot. Help me out here, Lakanisha. I need it. I need it. Was it 20,000? Was it 40?
About a range, it was probably about more than half of it. It was a good chunk of it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's the kind of information I need. So you were you ordered to pay the restitution for the rest of the amount?
When the judge gave me the sentencing, he did tell me from what I recall, it's been a long time ago, but the judge, when he sentenced me, when he said the 15-year sentence, I really kind of stopped listening after because it really just really hit me really hard at that time because I thought that I could get away with something and it just, everything just hit me all at once. Yes, ma'am. It
You
did.
do not know if you are ordered to pay restitution. You don't know if you are ordered to pay restitution at this point?
Yes, ma'am. In the court documents, it said that I would be sentenced for 15 years. And I honestly don't recall if he stated for me to pay restitution or not. It's been such a long time.
Okay. So you've been in the transitional work program, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I understand your mother's disabled and you're helping your mother. Have you considered how you might pay restitution?
Yes,
Uh,
yes, ma'am. So when I do get out, I have a plan. When you're in here, you have nothing more to do except recall everything and try to not make the same mistakes that I did in the past to get me to where I am now. So getting out, I do have a plan when I get out. Um, I do have a home to go back home to. I wanted to, with my work skills, I am in the work release transitional program. I currently work at the Duck's Nest, but I don't plan on staying here. I do plan on going back home in Shreveport, Louisiana with my mother. I do plan to go through the Louisiana workforce system to try to find work of employment. I also, excuse me, I also know that Indeed.com also has work avenues. I have a lot of working experience and it has taught me a lot. I have cashier experience, hotel front desk experience. Um, currently working at the Duck's Nest. I have a lot of good skills that I've learned, and I've worked with a lot of really good people and it's taught me a lot, like a lot, how to deal with different age ranges, how to adapt, how to adjust, how to just listen, because that's something I do struggle with is just to listen and to.
okay, well, I want you to listen just to this question. Are
Yes,
you aware that Santa Maria Produce went out of business?
no, ma'am, I did not know that.
No, not long after.
No, ma'am, I wasn't aware.
They went out of business. I'm going to ask you something that is contained in the record that concerns me, and that is it was noted that you forged letters of support for the pre-sentencing phase of the trial. Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for owning responsibility for that. So, I would like if any of the other members would like to ask any questions.
Sure. How much money have you saved up since you've been in work release? How much is in your account? You have any idea?
Saving with work release, I've tried to save up about a good amount. I try to send back family support to try to help my mom. So
Sending money home to your mother?
yes, sir. I try to send my family support homes to help with bills and to help with savings with my mom and just try to get everything. I'm trying to do things the right way because the way that I've done them, that's not the right way to do it. And my mom deserves so much more and so much more better than that. So I've tried to save from work release, from sending $200 home to $350 and her using certain things on bills. And I have about a good probably from being in work release this long not knowing, how much she used for bills. So I would say about probably about a good 5,000 to probably try to.
Good, you're not wasting it at the canteen. So, and that's a good thing. And I just wanted to note that she had a minimum risk and need and no write-ups. Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, I'm curious about if we could just go over one more time the amount of money. There was about 78,000 stolen. Is that correct? Is that
And like the figure amount, I believe, I'm just trying to recall because going through it, sometimes I believe it was over more than half. So I believe that it was probably about 43 that I gave back or around that ballpoint figure. I don't want to tell you
32.
the wrong
It was
thing.
32,000.
32. Okay. So thank you for letting me know, but it was a large amount. So that's yes, sir. I do apologize. I didn't know the full amount and I didn't want to give the incorrect answer.
I have all the information here on.
okay? Thank you. We weren't trying to trick you. We just didn't. I had failed to see that.
I didn't see it either.
That's all the questions I have.
I just need to ask one more time. I mean, we're talking about this, and let me tell you, you have glowing reports from the people in the institution. Okay. You've
Yes.
conducted yourself very honorably. You've taken advantage of a lot of great courses. Um, there's nothing that speaks ill of you during your time incarcerated. You know what I haven't heard, Ms. McCoy? Are you truly sorry for that decision that you made to take those people's money?
Yes, ma'am, I am because they didn't deserve that. No one deserves what I did. No one. Not even no one deserves that. It's no excuse. I take full accountability for everything that I've done. Everyone at Santa Maria Produce, they didn't deserve that. And going through that entire experience, it made me want to do better for the business that I work for. Now, it made me want to really just sit down and look at myself and just be accountable and be honest within myself to know the person that I was then, like the things that I know now, I wish I did know then, but I know that God had to use this opportunity to break me down in order to build me back up so that I can be a better person, so that I can learn from my mistakes, so that I can make better decisions and not go back to what I went to. And I've also learned that what I've gone through won't, it doesn't affect what I have to become. And I am truly remorseful. They didn't deserve that. And that made me want to do better, to be around people, to rehabilitate myself and to do better. But I needed this. I needed, and I know that may sound funny, but I really needed this to sit down, to slow down, to humble myself, to really get my priorities straight and to see what was really important. And when I did, it's like when I came here, I could only be mad at myself because I put myself in this situation. Nobody else put me in this situation. And being around, the guards and accepting authority and really just look at myself in the mirror. This gave me the time to really see me for who I really am and to see what God really has in store for me. And I do take full accountability for it. And I have been trying to rehabilitate myself in any way possible to try to better myself because I'm not perfect by any means. I did think back then that I knew everything. And, I was young and naive. I won't make any excuses for myself because what I did was absolutely wrong. It's no
That's,
right, no way of trying to.
you sound like you've done a good wrap up as far as I can
Okay.
tell. That
All
would be a
right.
good statement.
I failed to ask before we vote. I failed to ask, is there any staff of Concordia there?
Yes, sir.
Staff
Um,
in the with you?
yes, sir. Give me 1 second.
Oh, that's okay. Don't.
It's okay, we don't need it.
That's all right.
Okay.
I just didn't want to be rude and not introduce them if they were in the room with you. But if they're not in the room, that's okay. Uh, okay. I think we're ready to vote.
You have. He wants to speak.
Is there someone else? Oh, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. I didn't see her.
Here's the staff member.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Could
fine.
you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Chief of Security. I'm Tiffany Davis, the Chief of Security here at the Women's Facility.
Okay. I just wanted to introduce you and thank you for your work and what you do. And do you have any comments that you'd like to make?
Miss McCoy, she's been a great offender. We haven't had any trouble out of her. She comes, she goes to work when she's on schedule. She have taken her classes. Um and I wish I had more like her, honestly.
I'm I'm glad you don't. I mean, more people would be breaking the law if you did. So
Well,
we
I wish I
appreciate.
had more. I wish I had more offenders that has done what she has done, and as far as trying to rehabilitate
I,
herself and get herself.
right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We appreciate the work and we appreciate that those remarks about Miss McCoy. And Carolyn Howard was supposed to speak. That was a neighbor, but she's not on, correct?
Oh, she's on that. Just ask if she can. You can just call her name.
Okay, Miss Howard, is Carolyn Howard listening? Carolyn Howard, the neighbor, Miss McCoy's neighbor, are you listening?
Don't mute it.
Okay, we'll move on then. I'm sorry we can't hear from Miss Howard, but we're having some kind of problems, I think, from her end. So anyway, are y'all prepared to vote?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Ledoux.
Miss McCoy, the vote for me today is going to be to grant with some conditions. It has not been clear if restitution has been ordered, but if restitution has been ordered, then I expect you to pay the full amount of restitution in the timeline that either the judge or the probation and parole set out for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's going to be important in my mind. And that's the biggest condition. So at this point, my vote is to grant.
Okay, Ms. McCoy, my vote is the same. Let probation and parole determine the rest of the restitution. They'll get with the victims and the victim's family, and they'll set you up on a payment plan that you can afford. With that amount of restitution, a lot of times it doesn't get paid out and has to go to civil, but I do want you paying while you're on. But my vote is to grant. And you had any problems with drugs at all? I saw you took a couple classes. Did you do drugs when you were on the streets?
I did drink some alcohol. I did, because
No,
alcohol, I'm gonna be
no.
out. Yes, sir. Like with
That's
I used it kind of like as a coping mechanism.
But let's go on and get you evaluated too, and make sure you don't have a drug problem, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. And that's it for me. I grant you've done a good job. I hope your words are truthful because, you know, you have proved you can be deceitful. So,
Yes, sir.
let's do it the right way this time. You're backing a lot of time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I could say deny and it wouldn't make any difference because we have two grant votes, so you're going to be granted parole. But I know there's a lot of people that listen to this on YouTube and on whatever. And I just want to explain something. I'm going to vote to grant also, but you are going to get out in less than a year, no matter what we said. And so I want the viewing public, those that I want you to understand the state of Louisiana, even though Miss McCoy got a 15-year sentence, she's going to be getting out in less than a year anyway, less than 4 years after she was sentenced. So you just need to know, you know, I just want you to know that we're just giving her a few months extra, letting her out a few months extra early. That way we can require her to do certain things like this restitution part. And so we're going to grant you parole this morning with the condition that if the court required you to do restitution, that you do it timely and that you get it done quickly, as quickly as you can. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate how good you've done while incarcerated, and we wish you the rest of your life to be crime-free and blessed. And now conclude this. It's April the 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning from headquarters. Thank you. Wait for our next case.
Thank you.
We just,
We're
if
still
they're
on.
not there, we'll